Good morning, students. In today's class, I will explain about a two-dimensional array. We know that array is a linear data structure which consists of set of data items of similar data type which are stored in a consecutive memory location. And each and every element of an array is accessed by using subscripts. If you are able to access any element of an array using one subscript, we call that one as a one-dimensional array. For example, in a one-dimensional array, suppose if you want to access the fourth element, then we are writing a within the square bracket 4. If you want to access the 10th element, we can write a of 10. In general, if you want to access the ith element, we are writing a of I. So similar to one-dimensional array, we have another array called a two-dimensional array. The difference between a one-dimensional array and a two-dimensional array is that in case of two-dimensional array, any element is accessed using two subscript. The first subscript denotes the row number and the second subscript denotes its column number. In C language, the row number also starts from 0 and the column number also starts from 0. So if you write A of 0 2 means it refers to the element stored in the 0th row and the second column. In our last class, we discussed about one of the operation related to a one-dimensional array called sorting. Sorting is an operation which arranges the elements in some order. Either it could be an ascending order or it could be a descending order. We also studied several uh, algorithms are available for sorting, such as bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, quick sort, etc. As an example, in our last class, we studied both the algorithms and the program for one sorting method called bubble sort. In today's class, I'll give a brief introduction to what do you mean by a two-dimensional array, how the elements of a two-dimensional array are stored or represented in the computer memory, what are all the different representation schemes available for two-dimensional arrays. At the end of today's class, you should be in a position to define what is a two-dimensional array, how we can declare a two-dimensional array in C language, in what way a two-dimensional array is different from a one-dimensional array, and what are all the different representation schemes or representation methods available for storing a two-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array is also very much similar to a one-dimensional array in the sense both of them are linear data structure. The only difference between a one-dimensional array and a two-dimensional array is in case of one-dimensional array, each element is accessed using one subscript, while in the case of two-dimensional array, each element is accessed using two subscripts. The first subscript denotes the row number and the second subscript denotes the column number. For example, ith element of a two-dimensional array, we are writing it as Aij, where A is the array name, I denotes the row number, and the J denotes a column number. We assume that a two-dimensional array is simply a matrix. That means a two-dimensional array has rows and columns. But in the computer science or in the memory, a two-dimensional array is not stored in a matrix format. Instead of that one, your two-dimensional array is also stored as one-dimensional array only. For example, if your array size is A of 3, A of 3, 4, altogether, how many rows are there? 3 rows are there. And how many columns? 4 columns are there. In that case, altogether, how many elements are there? 12 elements are there because there are 3 rows and each row has 4 elements. Means first row has 4 elements, second row has 4 elements, third row has 4 elements. Means altogether it becomes 12 elements. In that case, a matrix of order 2 cross 3 or 3 cross 4, 3 cross 4 is represented as a one-dimensional array of 12 elements. One more example. If your matrix is of size A of 5, 4, that means if there are 5 rows and 4 columns, the first row has 4 columns, second row has 4 columns, third row has 4 columns, fourth row has 4 columns, and the fifth row also has a 4 column. So altogether, each row has 4 columns, and there are 5 such rows. Means altogether it will be 20. In that case, a 5 cross 4 matrix is represented as a one-dimensional array of 20 locations. So you should remember that a two-dimensional array is also represented as a one-dimensional array only. For example, consider the matrix A of 3, 4. So it denotes or it defines an array containing 3 elements only, where the first, there are three elements are there, and the first element has 4 values, the second element has 4 values, and the third element has 4 values. So in general, so each of these elements itself is an array containing 4 elements. So altogether we have an array of 3 locations. The first location is divided into 4 columns. The second location is divided into 4 columns, and the last location is also divided into 4 columns. So in general, if your matrix size is of order A of 5, 4, in that case, first the matrix is represented as a array of 4 element, and sorry, 5 element, and each element has 4 columns. So that is the way a 2-dimensional array is represented. A 2-dimensional array is also represented as a 1-dimensional array. Example, in A of 3, 4, it defines an array containing 3 elements. So number of elements is equal to number of rows, and each element is further divided into number of columns. So each element in this example, each element is further divided into 4 columns. Next, how do you declare a 2-dimensional array and how to initialize the elements of a 2-dimensional array? Just similar to 1-dimensional array, a 2-dimensional also must be declared before you use the 2-dimensional array in the program. The general syntax is first specify the data type, then you specify a name, then followed by you have to specify 2 sizes. Size 1 denotes the number of rows and size 2 denotes the number of columns. So in this example, float marks 3, 3 means altogether it declares a 2-dimensional array having 3 rows and 3 columns. So the first example is just declares a 2-dimensional array. No values are stored. If you want to declare and also give a value to the elements mean, then you can go for the second format. Its format is data type, array name, size 1 and size 2, and you can within the flower bracket you can specify the number of values. So in this example, marks 3 means altogether it has 3 rows and each row has 3 columns. In that case, altogether the total number of elements will be 9. In that case, 9 values you specify like this: 0, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 19, whatever value you can give it. In that case, 0 is stored in A0, 0, then 1 is stored in A01, and 3 is stored in A02. 5 is stored in A10, 6 A11, 7 will be in A12, 10 will be A of 20, 19 will be A of 21, and 20 will be in A of 22. Why we are storing like this means because in C language, the subscript value starts from 0. Row number also starts from 0 and column number also starts from 0. In this example, number of rows are 3 means the row number will be from 0, 1, 2. Since the number of column is also 3 means column number also will be from 0 to 2 only. Instead of this one, if the matrix like marks are 5, 4, in that case, the first subscript, 5 rows are there and 4 columns are there. Meaning first subscript value will be from 0 to 4. And the second subscript value will be from 0 to 3. How a 2-dimensional array is represented in the memory. I told earlier, a 2-dimensional array is also called as a matrix. The number of rows and the columns in a 2-dimensional array we call as its dimension. So if the matrix is of the dimension int A of 5 rows, 5, 4 means its dimension will be a 5 cross 4 matrix. 5 denotes the number of rows and 4 denotes the number of columns. Example, in the declaration int A of 3, 4, the range of the first dimension is 3. So the first dimension has 3, the range is 3, and the range of the second dimension is 4. And it's an example showing how a 3 cross 4 matrix looks like. So number of rows are how much? 3 rows. And the number of columns are 4 columns. In that case, row number also starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, and the column number also starts from 0 only. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So elements are stored like this. First row elements are 0, 0, 0 because there the row number is 0. Whereas the column number will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So it becomes A of 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Second element, second row. In the second case, the row number starts from 1. Again, there are 4 columns from 0 to 3. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. And the last will be 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3. So this is how a 2-dimensional array looks like. But inside the computer memory, a 2-dimensional array is also represented as a 1-dimensional array only. So there are 2 ways of representing a 2-dimensional array in the computer memory. They are called as row major ordering and a column major ordering. So there is a difference between both row major ordering and column major ordering. Now we will take with some example how the elements are stored in row major ordering and how the elements are stored in column major ordering. Okay. In the row major ordering, what happens is the elements are stored row by row. Suppose if your matrix size is of order 5 cross 4, how many rows are there? 5 rows are there. And how many columns? 4 columns are there. So each row has how many elements? 4 elements. So how it is stored here? First, the elements are first row are stored in first 4 position. So the first location, second location, third location, fourth location is reserved for the elements of first row. Next 4 location is reserved for the element of second row. And the last 4 locations are reserved for the elements of third row. For example, here the element of first row are A00, 01, 02, and 03. So in the bottom I have given how it is represented. The first 4 location, I'm storing the value 8, 10, 9, 5. Okay. Next, which are the next 4 elements? 1, 3, 7, 6. So they are stored in the memory location 5, 6, 7, 8. And the element of third row is stored in the element next 4 location. So first 4 location, first row. Next 4 location, second row. And the last 4 location, it will be for third row. So altogether, the number of element in the matrix is 3 rows, 4 columns. In a row major ordering, it is represented as a one-dimensional array of 12 elements. You can observe from the both the table and the bottom row, you can observe which are the element of first row 8, 10, 9, 5. So they occupy the first 4 location in the corresponding 1D representation. Next, so the first location is 8, second location is 10, third location is 9, fourth location is 5. Next, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 is for first row. 5, 6, 7, 8. So the location 5, 6, 7, 8, it is used by the element of second row. Then the next 4 locations, that is location number 9, 10, 11, 12 is reserved for the element of third row. So why it is called row major ordering means in the case of row major ordering, the elements are stored as a one-dimensional array row by row. The first set of locations is reserved for the element of first row. Next set of locations are reserved for the element of second row, and the next set of location is reserved for third row, and so on. The opposite approach for representing a 2D array is a column major ordering. The difference between a row major ordering and a column major ordering is total number of locations remains the same in both. Here also suppose, here if the matrix is of order 3 cross 4 means first 10 location 1D array is created. 12 locations 1-dimensional array is created. So instead of considering the element first row, it will take the element of first column. Which are the element of first column? 8, 1, 4. So they occupy the first 3 locations. Next 3 locations are reserved for 10, 3, 12. Next 3 locations are reserved for 9, 7, 11. And the last 3 locations are reserved for 5, 6, and 10. So altogether, the previous example also, the number of locations will be 12 only. Here also the number of locations will be 12 only. The difference between the row major ordering and a column major ordering here. In the case of row major ordering, the element of first row occupies the first set of location. In the case of column major ordering, the element of first column occupies the first set of location. Element of second column occupies next set of locations, and so on. So elements are stored. One row is taken, kept in the 1D array. Second row is taken, next array. Third row is taken, then it is represented as the next set of locations. So instead in the row major ordering, elements are stored row by row. In the case of column major ordering, they are stored column by column. Next. In the previous class, we have learned how to compute the address of any kth element of a one-dimensional array by knowing 2 things. One is if you know the base address, and if you also know the value of W, that is the data type of the array, then you can easily compute the address of any element of a one-dimensional array. The same basis, you can compute the address of any 2-dimensional array also by knowing the base address and the value for W. The formula is given here. In row major ordering, suppose if your matrix is of order m cross n, m denotes the number of rows and n denotes the number of columns. Listen carefully. The matrix is of order m cross n. M denotes the number of rows and n denotes the number of columns. And if the matrix is of W, the int data type means W value will be 2. The matrix is of float type means W will be 4. And the matrix is of double type means W will be 8. The matrix is of char type means W value will be 1. And if you know the base address, in row major ordering, the address of any ijth element is computed as base address plus W. It depends on the data type. N denotes the number of column. Within the parenthesis, I minus 1 plus j minus 1. In the case of column major ordering, the formula will be same. Location of ijth element will be equal to base address plus W. Instead of n, you take m. Instead of I minus 1, you make it as j minus 1 plus instead of j minus 1, you write I minus 1. So this is the two formula to compute the address of ijth element in a two-dimensional array, both in row major ordering and column major ordering. I will explain both row major computation of address of ijth element in row major ordering as well as in column major ordering with an example. So here we should remember these things. It's possible to compute the address of ijth element, any ijth element of a 2D array using both in row major ordering and the column major ordering with this formula, where here W is depends on the data type of the array. M denotes the number of rows of the matrix and n denotes the number of columns in the matrix. Let us take with an example. In the array A of 3, 4, here m value will be how much? 3 and n value will be 4. If the base address is 1000 and W equal to 4, probably this is a float array. Then in row major ordering, address of A23 is given by, so here m is known, it's equal to 3. N is given, it's equal to 4 because that denotes the maximum number of rows and columns. Base address is known, W value is known. So what you have to do is, we have to compute the address of A23. That means the element stored in second row and third column. So here I value will be 2 and J value will be 3. You substitute. Location of A23, that means I value will be 2 and J value will be 3 equal to base address plus W into, you are computing the row major order means W into n into I minus 1 plus j minus 1. So base address is how much? 1000 plus, since W value is given as 4 into n is the number of column. It is given that number of column equal to 4 into I minus 1. So I value here, we are computing the value of A23 means I value will be 2. So 2 minus 1 plus j value will be 3 means 3 minus 1. So when you substitute, it becomes 1000 plus, within the bracket, you simplify first. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 into 4 is 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 into 4 becomes 1024. That means the address of the element stored in the second row and the third column will be how much? 1024. So in this example, which is the second, you can start the row number from 0. That doesn't matter. But which is the second row? You consider the row number 2 and the column number 3. So that represents the element A of 1, 2. That represents the element A of 1 because A12 is the element stored in the second row and the third column. You compute. So since it is given as row major ordering, A00 address will be 1000. Next, A01 1004, 02 1008, 03 1012, 10 1016, 11 1020, and A of 12 will be 1024. So it's correct now, because in the C language, A12 denotes what? The element stored in the second row and the third column. So its address easily we can compute as 1024. If you want, I can repeat again. We are computing the address of the element stored in second row, third column. Whatever may be the subscript, second row, third column element you have to take. So probably that element will be this will be the element in the second. Sorry, this will be the element in the second row and the third column. So it is given that base address is 1000 plus W value will be 4 in 4. Then n into I minus 1. N is how much? 4 into I value is 2. 2 minus 1 plus j value will be 3, mean 3 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1 into 4. 4 plus 3 minus 2 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. Outside the bracket, you have 4. 6 into 4 is 24. It is telling that the address of the element stored in second row, third column will be 1024 in row major ordering. You can check it. The first element A00 address will be 1000. A01 4, you jump it by 4 bytes, 1004. 02 will be 1008. 03 will be 1000, 1000, 1004, 1012. 10 will be 1016. 11 will be 1020 and 12 will be 1024. So you got the correct address now. Next, let us check how to compute the address of the same element in column major ordering, second row. In the column major ordering, the address of the A12 will not be 1024. Why mean? Here, in the case of column major ordering, first the element of first column occupies the corresponding address. Next, the element of second column. Then the element of third columns are stored. So here you can compute. Base address, how much? 1000 plus W, 4 only. M, number of rows is how much? 3 into J minus 1. J will be 3 minus 1 plus Ni value will be 2. So 2 minus 1. So it becomes 3 minus 1 is how much? 2 into 3, 6 plus 2 minus 1 is 1. 6 plus 1 is 7 into 4. It becomes 1024. So we are computing the address of the element stored in same number. But here it is column major order mean. First 1000 A00 will be 1000. Next, the next location is occupied by element of A10, not 01. So A10 is stored in which address? 1004. 20 will be 1008. 01 will be 1012. 11 will be 1016. 21 will be 1020. 02 will be 1024 and A of 12 will be 1028. In the case of row major ordering, first the elements stored in this fashion: A00, A01, A02, A03, then 10, 11, 12, 13, then 20, 21, 22, 23. Whereas in the case of column major ordering, it is stored like this: first A00, next element will be 10, next 20. Next three locations will be reserved for 01, 11, 21. Next three locations are reserved for 02, 12, 22, and the last three locations are reserved for 03, 13, and 23. So even though the element is, we are computing the address of A23 mean, in both the example, if you are computing the address of A23 mean, I will be 2 and J will be 3. So in order to compute the address of any element, either in a row major ordering or a column major ordering, we require 4 information. One is the base address. What is the value of M, number of rows? What is the value of N, number of column? And the address of which element you are computing. If you are computing the address of A23 means I value will be 2 and J value will be 3. And also we require the value for W. So with this one, we can compute the address of any element either in a row major ordering or in the column major ordering with that formula. Let us see what are the advantages of an array and what are the disadvantages of an array. One main advantage of an array is, in the case of array, we can access any element directly. You need not start from the beginning element only. Directly we can go to A of 2, 3. From A2, 3, you can come back to A of 1, 1. From A1, 1, you can go back to A4, 4. So you can directly go to any location reserved for the particular element. And it's very easy to compute the address of any element. In the row major ordering also, it's easy to compute. The column major address also, we can compute the address of any ijth element. This is possible both in 2-dimensional array as well as in a 1-dimensional array also. Since the address of a array are stored in consecutive memory location, there is no need to link the elements one by one. Because if the first element is 1000 means, if the float array means next element is actually 1004, 1008 and so on. So there is no question of linking the element. Adjacency relationship is automatically brought out because the elements are stored in consecutive memory location in array. And one more advantage of an array is sorting is very, very easy in the case of arrays. Sorting, searching, both are easy operation in case of array. So these are the 4 main advantages of array. Accessing any element directly is possible. Computing the address of any element either in a row major ordering or in a column major ordering or even in a 1D array is also easy. Elements are stored in consecutive memory location is adjacency relationship is automatically brought out. Sorting is easy, but it suffers from certain drawback. One is, in the case of array, you have to specify the size in the beginning like this, int a of 20. Then what happens is, whether you use it or not, 20 locations will be reserved. Similarly, if you write int a of 5 rows and 5 columns, whether you use it or not, 25 locations will be reserved for you. So that's it's a set of allocation. We call it as a static allocation. So 5 you cannot alter in the middle. And insertion of an element in the middle and deletion of an element from the middle, it takes more time. It's very difficult process. And array is not suitable for storing heterogeneous data items. All the elements in an array must be same time. All of them must be only integer, or all of them must be only float, or all of them must be char only. You cannot have a mixture of elements in case of array. So these are the three main drawbacks of an array. So since array is a very, very important concept, especially from the data structure point of view, definitely one or two questions from the array concept will appear in your examination. Some of the review questions based on today's class are: define 2D array. A 2D array is nothing but a collection of homogeneous data item where each element is accessed using two subscripts. Distinguish between linear array and a 1D array is one and the same, and a 2D array. How do you declare 2D array? Mention the different memory representation. Mention means you just write row major ordering and column measuring ordering. What is meant by row major ordering? The case of row major ordering, first the elements of first row is taken, they are stored in the first set of location in a 1D array. Next, the element of second row is taken, they are stored in the next set of location. Then the element of third row. So element are stored row by row. In the case of column major ordering, they are stored in column by column. First, the element of first column occupies the first set of location. Element of next column occupy next set of location, and so on. And there is a separate formula to compute the address of ijth element both in row major ordering as well as in column major ordering. Write the formula to compute the address of aij in row major ordering, in column major ordering. Write any two advantages of an array, write any two drawbacks of an array. So these are some of the long answer question. Explain the memory representation of a two-dimensional array. Explain row major and column major ordering for 2D array. Write a program. So some of these programs you have studied in your first sem itself. Write a program to add and subtract two matrices, multiply two matrices, transpose a matrix, find the sum of principal and a secondary diagonal element in a square matrix. So these are some of the operations we can perform on a 2D array. Let us check what we have understood in today's class properly or not. Number of subscript used to access an element of a 2D array of size 5 cross 4. If your array matrix is of dimension 5 cross 4, how many subscript you use? Whatever may be this one, since it's a 2D array, the number of subscript used is 2. So correct answer is D. In the general formula to compute the address of ijth element of a 2D array of float type, in row major ordering, the value of W is equal to 4. General formula to compute the address of ijth element in a column major ordering, you can check it in your slides. The correct answer is A. Elements of a 2D array are stored as many one-dimensional array. Yes, it is true both for row major ordering as well as column major ordering. The correct answer is true. If base address is 1200, A is a 2D array of dimension 5 cross 4 of int type, then the address of A23 is given by like this. So it's a matrix of order how much? 5 rows, and each row has how many columns? 4 columns. In that case, in which address the element of second row and the third column is stored with the base address is 1200. The base address is 1200 means each row has how many values? 4 values. The first four location value will be 1200, 1202, 1204, 1206 over. Second row 1008, 1010 and 1012 because second row third column address will be 1212. The correct answer is C. Okay, students. Basically, in today's class, I have explained what do you mean by 2D array, how a 2D array is defined or declared, how to initialize a 2D array, how the elements of a 2D array are represented in the computer memory. One thing you should remember that a 2D array in the memory is not stored in matrix format. It is stored as a 1D array only. And there are two ways of representing a 2D array in the memory. One is row major ordering, other one is a column major ordering. We have studied the formula in both the cases to compute the address of ijth element by knowing what? Base address and the data type of the array. And With this, I will conclude today's class. You can clarify for any doubts over that number or through email. Thank you.